Shame I got to do this, but just to take precautions, so to YouTube or any of the other ones out there that just might just so happen to look at this video, it's not preaching hate. It's not siding with any type of hate, nor is it trying to portray it in some type of positive light. It's simply bringing up a story, talking about the context, and giving a very simple opinion.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Women are the biggest hindrance to moving racial equality forward because we have more influence over the raising of our children than anybody else, and white supremacy grows in our homes. And we are the ones teaching our children if only they would behave this way, speak this way, or dress this way, maybe they would have equality. And I will not argue this with anyone.
A Lake Norman High School student was disciplined after photos circulated of them on campus wearing a white pointed hat, which appeared to be associated with a symbol of hate, along with a graduation gown and the caption, "The South will rise again." And in another photo, the student can be seen giving a Nazi salute. Quote, "It's sad. I think sometimes kids do things that they have no clue what they are doing, and I hope that's the case. That they're just clueless." That was stated by Joanne Bennett, a parent. Bennett's daughter, Brooke, is a sophomore at the school. They chose not to look at the photos, but they heard about them. Quote, "Nobody showed it to me, but I wouldn't look at it because it's offensive to me. I think it's just kind of annoying how people make stupid jokes, like making jokes like that, especially with me being a biracial girl. I just think it's really stupid." In a statement, the school stated that we do not condone this unacceptable action of discrimination. Racial harassment, discrimination, hate speech, or degradation of any kind will not be tolerated and does not represent our high school or our school district. Acts such as this are a disgrace to our community, and those individuals will be disciplined to the fullest extent. The school officials stated on Friday that they completed their investigation and the student involved has been disciplined. It was also stated that anyone who has any other information about the photos is to contact the school administration. So I just want to try to understand this, right? Now, I either probably made up my mind to block out the top half just as a precautionary measure due to the fact of how flimsy YouTube is when it comes into talking about this, and how it is that if you happen to showcase it, hey, YouTube wants to decide to, you know, take the furthest extent versus actually paying attention and actually listening to and watching the videos that people just so happen to put up, dealing with the context, dealing with the issue, dealing with the history, and everything else that comes directly with it. But anyways, somebody has to try to explain to me how it is that in 2023 you still have a lot of these kids doing this. And then beyond that, they still want to state that, oh, no one sees color, nobody's talking about race or anything like that. When we specifically know in the United States of America, things such as this, dealing with certain um, WS type groups in the United States, have done a variety of things, worn costumes, specific costumes, in order to terrorize Black people in the Black community and to also instill fear in Black people, because we all know that after slavery, they had to try to do something in order to uh, keep Black people in a certain type of bind, in a certain type of area, had to keep Black people at a certain level to let them know that, hey, just because you think you're free, you're not really free, right? And that's in a sense what it is, right? It's realistically to instill fear, because at the end of the day, you still have those same groups of people who are out there who are raising kids and grandkids who are passing down that same exact family history, that lineage, not only through the DNA, but also through memorabilia, right? Through the teachings and also pictures, and in some instances, books that they may have specifically pertaining to that history or the ideals that they have. So it's kind of funny to me hearing a quote unquote parent state that she's confused on, why it is and thinking that this is some type of a joke. And nah, you're not being honest with yourself, and you're not being honest about your community. You know exactly what it is. You're just afraid to specifically state it. You want to try to overlook it. You want to try to sweep it under the rug to make it seem as though that the kid or kids are completely ignorant and that they don't know history or anything. No, they know. That's their history. You're not going to tell them that they don't know. Their parents teach them this history. They're able to see it somewhere because I promise you, they're not walking through and being raised by the black community and then deciding to go to school and do that exact same fiasco, that exact same show, that circus, because that's what we don't do. Now, you on the other side of the aisle, you guys allow your kids to slide by and do the things that they want to do. This is why we've had so many school incidences that have taken place across the United States. And those exact same kids are raised by very specific parents that don't look black. But yet, oddly enough, the media and everybody else doesn't really want to highlight that. They don't want to, you know, make that seem as it's a problem when realistically it is, because these are people that are homegrown. These are people that have a certain set of ideals and beliefs. These are a group of people that look at others as less than. And it shows not only in words, but also in action. Because the only reason to do something like this was to try to prove a point. Now, some can say, well, kids do a lot of things in order to go viral, and because they think that it's funny, it'll gain them followers and yada yada yada. That's great, that's cool, but even within that, they still know that there are people out there, even their friends, that believe in what it is that they are doing. The person doing it might not be vocal, right? They might not, let's just say that they're not vocal. They don't have a real belief. They're just thinking at it as a joke and all this other type of stuff. But I promise you, amongst their friends, amongst their list, they have individuals that are in the belief, in the ideal of whatever that costume represents specifically to them and their family and their DNA and their lineage. And they have even more friends. And then they have Facebook groups. They have telegrams, they got discords, they have YouTube channels and IGs, all of which are private, where they host, their own videos and get views, and they can laugh and talk amongst their own in the privacy of that little circle that is somewhere online. And then they go out in everyday life, and then they decide to associate with black people. They decide that they want to like black music. They want to learn the hand gestures. They want to learn the dance moves. They want to learn the lyrics to a lot of songs. But behind all of that, they're still racist at the end of the day. And this is why I keep stating that America, this is you at the end of the day. This is what it is that you allow your children, your kids to do. This is what you teach directly in your houses. We're not teaching that. We're not teaching that in our household. So again, it's pretty hilarious when you see individuals want to roll up and state that you have a certain type of hate or loathing for another group, but yet the actions that you can clearly see in the photo by that student says who realistically has the hate.